In the most recent update of Limbus Company, Mirror Dungeons got a second wave of new content. With the second week of Mirror of the Dreaming came the hard mode, more graces, more theme packs, and crucially a lot more ego gifts, including but not limited to a second fusion gift for every team. Some mechanics have been changed as well. The new Super Shop has been added to greatly improve your runs. And, frankly, the game mode has improved so much that in my humble opinion it's become some of the most fun you can have in Limbus Company. However, even though this game mode is really fun, it can also be pretty confusing with all of the new content added in week 2. So if you want to tackle MD5's hard mode for the first time, or want to know more about the new gifts, graces, enemies and other mechanics, this video is exactly what you need. Because today, I want to go over all the new additions to Mirror of the Dreaming, explain certain mechanics, give my opinions on builds, teams and items, and I will end the video off with a little bit of strategizing. So if you want to see how to make some of the strongest, fastest and funniest builds for Mirror Dungeon 5, make sure to stick around until the end of the video. But before I start, I have to tell you that most of my viewers are not subscribed. Subscribing helps me out a lot, and takes just one click. So if you're enjoying my videos enough to come back to new uploads, you definitely should consider subscribing to the channel. The YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways, and every sub counts. But without further ado, let's get back into our Mirror of the Dreaming. We will start with the new fusion gifts exclusive to the hard mode. I will flash the gifts and the recipes on your screen, while I talk about how they change the gameplay of their teams and whether you should rush them or not. First we have the new fusion gift of Burn, Purloined Flame. This gift helps you deal damage with Burn a lot faster than usual. Every skill procs Burn once on hit, and burn damage is effectively doubled every turn passively. This effect is really nice for outputting damage with Burn, but there's one problem with it. We'll get to that problem a bit later though, because Purloined Flame has another strong side. While the on-kill effects of this gift are good and can buff your allies by giving them damage up and letting them hit more conditionals, the best unique effect of this gift has to be the 4 offense level down on all enemies every turn. Interestingly enough, this effect is not part of any of the gifts that are required to craft Purloined Flame, so you will have to complete the craft to get the effect. As for the first effect's problem, it is the existence of Glimpse of Flames. That gift does what this one does, but outshines it greatly in speed when clearing later floors. Of course, the two of them can coexist, but there's no point in hunting for Purloined Flame when this gift does not help you stack burn in one turn and has its effect outshined by a non-fusion tier 4 gift. Overall, Purloined Flame is fine and pretty effective in a vacuum, but you should build it only after you get Soothe the Dead and Glimpse of Flames, in order to have an easier time beating some of the new floor 5 packs added with the update. Our second new fusion gift is Hemorrhagic Shock, belonging to the Bleed category. This gift works in a similar way to Purloined Flame, as it allows you to use your bleed damage earlier than intended. You proc Bleed when winning clashes, and now Bleed can stagger enemies during a clash, which results in even more free bleed procs. Additionally, Hemorrhagic Shock inflicts defense level down on all enemies, which pretty much makes up for the nerf of Bloody Mist when going up against a boss. At floor 5, getting up to the 20 defense level down cap is pretty easy against one enemy, and that effect greatly increases your damage against said enemy, pretty much acting like the old effect of Bloody Mist, albeit with some setup. This gift also increases your bleed and bleed count application, but that's to be expected from a gift that requires a rusted cutting knife for its craft. As for when to build Hemorrhagic Shock, I'd say it's not as impactful as Bloody Mist, especially at lower floors, so it's not going to be your first craft, but you can go for it over Red Stained Gossipium, as it also inflicts defense level down, and can lead to even more damage with its additional bleed procs. Next up we have the new fusion gift of Tremor, which is Omnivibro Octovecti Bell. Quite a handful to pronounce, but the effects of this gift can be boiled down to one sentence. It helps identities that inflict tremor on themselves by giving them more stats. Identities gain clash power based on tremor count on self, refund half of the tremor count consumed for a skill when they kill an enemy with it, and also deal more damage when consuming tremor. This gift helps pretty much every identity in the meta tremor team, allowing them to clear floors quicker even without reverb plus everlasting. That being said, the main combo of tremor remains unchanged, and it's still the best way to kill bosses with this team. Omnivibro Octavecti Bell doesn't really help with that, and it also doesn't provide a meaningful amount of tremor infliction to be built before coupled oscillation. Still, it is a pretty good effect, that works in a very different way compared to the original tremor fusion gift, so you should hunt for it as soon as you get coupled oscillation. Our next fusion gift is Ruin, which is a Rupture gift. This gift is kind of interesting, but it has its flaws. Ruin allows Rupture to be 2.5 times more effective against shields, and it also allows you to inflict more Rupture potency and count, as you would expect from a Thunder Branch craft. However, because of the new Rupture IDs sometimes refusing to apply the effect, Ruin also gives them additional coin power when their effects kick in, to make sure that even without effect application, those identities can get more power from this gift. Finally, the best part of Ruin is the fact that it's pretty much red stained Gossipium for Rupture, as it reduces both the offense and defense level of enemies inflicted with the effect. That being said, Ruin lacks the Rupture application of Enrapture Trance, and Thrill is just so powerful that in terms of Rupture fusions, Ruin will come last, and sometimes you don't even get much of a power spike from this gift. Next up, we have the new fusion gift of Sinking, Impending Wave. This gift is a powerful addition to the Sinking team, as it allows your identities to inflict a bit of additional count every turn, while also healing SP and inflicting defense level down based on sinking on the enemy. Also, Impending Wave gives all allies one offense level up for each enemy with minus 45 SP, and increases the sinking infliction of all identities in long battles. If Black Shade music is really good for abnormality boss encounters, it's the exact opposite of that, as it shines in human encounters, preferably those that have a lot of extra enemies. This gift can be crafted before Black Shade music if you have a lot of its components and Midwinter Nightmare. However, building Black Shade music first is still faster, and their power is pretty much on par. I'd say Impending Wave is one of the better fusion gifts added with the update, as it helps out both the damage dealing and sinking inflicting aspects of the sinking team. Next up, we have the new fusion gift of Poise, Cask Spirits. This gift has the effects of Devil's Share and Endorphin Kit, but it also has two new and interesting effects. Cask Spirits allow your team to convert Poise potency over 20 into Poise count, which is great as Poise effectively caps out at 20 potency already, and everything above that has no effect. Additionally, this gift brings the discard mechanic into Poise, by allowing units with a lot of Poise potency and count to discard their low rank skills every turn. Not going to lie, this effect looks pretty cool until you remember that mirror dungeons have skill substitution, and also that Lucky Pouch and Clear Mirror Calm Water are just stronger than this. If you don't make this gift really early, you are not going to feel its presence unless you spam Merciful Skill 3 to clear wave encounters. And you aren't going to build it early because Lucky Pouch simply brings more value. Last but not least, we have the fusion gift of Charge, T5 Perpetual Motion Machine. Not exactly an innovative name, but the effects of this gift are really good. It gives your allies more speed, power and damage when they have a bit of charge, and gives them charge if they don't have any. However, the much funnier part of T5 is how it synergizes with the third kills of warp identities, because on kill it refunds a third of the skill's cost, and gives coin power up, while at the same time adding another copy of the skill for next turn, which allows you to pretty much infinitely spam your strongest skills and deal insane damage. This effect also doesn't work with unique charge, meaning warp ratio is officially the identity that should be used for charge mirror dungeon runs. I'd say that ideally you want to get T5 before T1, as long as you get some way to gain a lot of charge quickly, which can be done easily with charge type gloves. And that's all the fusion gifts. Or actually not, because you can craft lunar memory now. The recipe is on your screen, and we're moving on to the Super Shop, which is the place that makes such a fusion possible. The Super Shop is a new type of shop that can spawn instead of the normal one. The initial chance for a Super Shop is 3%, however, you can increase it by spending cost at shops. Whenever you spend cost, the chance rises, and either you get the Super Shop next floor and it drops back down to 3%, or you don't get the shop and the chance carries over to the floor after that, and can be increased even further. In the Super Shop, you get a lot more options for gifts, meaning every reroll is more valuable. And you also get to replace the skills of 2 identities instead of 1, making it a lot easier to build that perfect team in the later parts of the run. However, the most important part of the Super Shop is its improved fusion table, which allows you to select up to 5 gifts at once when making a fusion. This way, you're no longer locked into making only tier 1 gifts from tier 1 gifts, and you also can improve the chances of getting your selected keyword from 90% to 99%, pretty much guaranteeing that you get what you want by paying a little extra. This better flexibility in terms of crafting opens the way for making multiple powerful fusion gifts by stage 3, drastically improving the speed at which you clear the dungeon. And also, if you really want to make the strongest team ever, you can craft lunar memory, which is something you can't do in the normal shop. Overall, the Super Shop can provide a big power spike if you play your hand right. And I would say that it's worth it to build up your chances over the first 2 floors, mainly by buying gifts. Even if you don't have a lot of cost to make use of the Super Shop's largest selection of gifts, you can still get a lot of value from it by using the gifts that you bought to enter the Super Shop as fusion fodder for some game-changing gifts for your team. A bunch of theme packs have been introduced with the release of MD5 hard mode, with a lot of them featuring bosses previously unseen in mirror dungeons. We have Erklin Heathcliff, the Barber, Dulcinea, Electric Sheep, Rose Hunter, Cassetti outside of the Warp theme packs, Spiral of Contempt and other rare bosses making an appearance for hard exclusive theme packs, which makes the gameplay experience a lot more varied and fresh for people who are used to mirror dungeons. However, there is a set of late floor theme packs that not only allow us to fight exclusive encounters, but also entirely change the gameplay loop of that floor. Of course, the theme packs I'm referring to are the Refraction Railway theme packs. Whenever you see one of these packs, you will see that they belong to a new long battle subtype of floors, where instead of having to go through a maze of options, you're thrust right into the boss fight after 2 event tiles and the shop. Additionally, whenever you pick one of these packs, all of your identities get 3 more levels for the rest of the run. There have been 4 Refraction Railways in the history of Limbus Company, so we get 5 theme packs to choose from. Hold up, something isn't right here. Well, you see, while Railways 1, 2 and 3 got just 1 theme pack each, RR4 actually comes in 2 flavors. You're either fighting Section 3 or Section 4 of the line. Don't worry though, as the pack tells you which section it is, so you won't have to face a random boss fight in a long battle. Each of these packs have an encounter with the enemies from that railway. There also are some ego gifts exclusive to the railway packs, which you can get as floor clear rewards and during the floor as well. Right now, I want to go over each of these theme packs and tell you about the boss fight that awaits you in each of them, and the ego gifts that you can get for it. First we have Line 1, Madness. This theme pack only appears on floor 4. The boss fight of this pack is as follows. You first have to fight Blubbering Toad, then you have to fight this robot, whose name I will not pronounce, and then you will have to face My Form Empties. Each of the fights is a separate wave, with the fight finishing once My Form Empties is dead. The reason as to why these 3 bosses have been chosen is pretty simple. Refraction Railway 1 was the place where these 3 encounters have first debuted, so it's only logical to make the player face them back to back to mirror the experience of RR1. As a unique reward for the Line 1 Madness pack, you can get two new gifts, Snake Slow and False Halo. Snake Slow is a tier 2 gift that grants defense level up to all allies, and also gives allies offense level up equal to a quarter of their defense level up. False Halo lets you stack Diana on hit, which gives 1% more damage for each stack, up to 108 stacks. The second of these team packs is Line 2, Limbus, which also appears only on floor 4. The boss fight of this pack is short and simple, as it is simply a fight against Sign of Roses. I'm not sure why Project Moon decided to only include one boss in this fight, but I'm kind of thankful for it, because with the right team you can nuke the boss down in 2 to 3 turns, and be done with this floor 4 a lot faster than any other floor 4 in the game. Weirdly, you still get two unique rewards for this team pack, Metronome and Bridle. Metronome is a tier 2 gift that mirrors the effects of the Steam Transport Machine, as it gives your identities damage up on odd-numbered turns and protection on even-numbered ones. Bridle is the tier 4 reward for this Steam pack, and it gives all allies % max HP equal to double the number of the current floor. This could have just been changed to 10% max HP, as there is only one floor where you could possibly use this gift. Line 3 Mirror Clock Orange Road is our third Refraction Railway pack, and this one is actually exclusive to floor 5. Much like with Line 2, this pack's boss fight technically only has you fight against one wave, but that wave is composed of 30 Picot enemies from Kanto 5, meaning you'll have to beat down wave after wave of blinded and gagged Picot villagers, as well as Pilot and Blue Mermaids. Before having to endure the myriad of enemies ahead, you can also get two unique gifts, Contempt of the Gaze of Contempt and Unhatched Embers. Contempt of the Gaze of Contempt is a tier 2 gift that gives 10% more damage to an ally for every enemy targeting this unit, up to 20%. Also, if there are 3 or more enemies targeting that ally, they all take a fixed amount of HP and SP damage equal to the amount of enemies that are targeting the ally. This one's interesting for solo runs. Unhatched Embers are also pretty interesting for solo runs, because they allow an ally to cheat death once per encounter, and heal back up to 20% HP. Finally, we have Line 4, Masquerade. As I've said, this line has two variants. Both of them are exclusive to floor 5, and their unique gifts are also the exact same. In the Section 3 variant, you get to fight against, well, Section 3 of RR4. That section is a two-way fight, where first you have to take down 12 envy Pikachu that are impersonating some meta identities, and then in the second wave you have to face the Dreaming Electric Ship. In the Section 4 variant, you, once again, have to fight against two waves. This time, the 12 Pikachu of the first wave are impersonating a bunch of sinking identities, and the second wave is a fight against the King in Binds, who is the final boss of RR4. As for the unique gifts for this pack, we have the Anti-Ovine Grounding Plug and Vestiges of the King. Anti-Ovine Grounding Plug is a tier 2 gift that inflicts 1 paralyze on the enemy that hits an ally, with the effect being limited to being used once per ally per turn. Vestiges of the King are a tier 4 gift that gives every ally past deployment order 6, 2 clash power for the turn they sub in, as well as granting them 10 SP and 1 ego resource for each of their skills. And that's about it for the new fun theme packs. So let's talk about the final big change in the mode, the reworked Graces. As promised, the newly added Graces of the Dreaming Star mechanic has already been reworked, with passives now entirely gone, and 4 more Graces added into the pool, alongside the ability to pick multiple Graces at once. I will go over the 4 new Graces in very quick fashion, and then we'll take a look at some fun ways to combine these Graces to make your team unstoppable. First we have Star of the Beginning. This grace gives you a little bit of everything and a free reroll for just 10 rest bonuses. Pound for pound, this is probably the best grace there is. Always pick it up if you can. Next up is Star Shower, which is literally just a cost injection plus one free gift at the start of the run. It's pretty good, but you can spend rest bonuses in much wiser ways. For 30 RP, we have Moon Star Shop, which is literally just a free keyword refresh every shop. For some reason it also gives you one free random tier 1 gift. Pretty good when you have a lot of money and can lead to a very quick double fusion craft. Last we have Starlight Guidance, which costs 40 bonuses and grants speed, clash power, damage up and protection for all of your allies. This grace is fine, and it shines if you're underleveled, as free stats are never bad. And now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at 3 general builds which you can do with 120 rest bonuses on your team. One is for fast clearing, one is for playing weak teams, and one is for funny gift spamming. First, let's start with fast farming. To quickly beat dungeons back to back, you will want to go for Perfected Possibility to get a strong start. Then add Binary Star Shop, Star of the Beginning and Star Shower to get a really strong economy going quickly, which can result in getting both fusion gifts for any team at floor 3 alongside the team's normal tier 4 gift. This amount of power is usually enough to steamroll through the rest of the dungeon by pressing win rate and beating every encounter in 1 to 2 turns. You can customize this build depending on your preferences and available rest bonuses, but keep in mind that Perfected Possibility is absolutely crucial for this to work, as every team has that one tier 3 gift that gives the team a lot of tempo, and picking Perfected Possibility allows you to manually choose that gift at the start of the run. Second, we have the low level build. This combination of graces can allow a player without a proper team to challenge and beat MD5 hard mode without having to keep restarting and hoping for luck. First we get Favor of the Nebulae and Starlight Guidance for a huge stat increase, which allows us to keep up with enemies even without fusion gifts. Next, if you're entirely new to this mode and don't have any theme packs unlocked, you should get Interstellar Travel, as it gives you even more levels and is made specifically for new players. You can round out the build with either Star Shower for a slightly stronger early game, or you can take both 10 RP graces to get more value in the long run. Of course, it depends on whether you want to beat the floor 5 hard stage or not. And finally, we have my favorite funny build, which focuses on getting a ton of gifts. You take Chance Comet, Binary and Moon Star Shop and Star of the Beginning in order to get insane value from every shop you encounter, and then you keep fighting enemies for extra cost and fish for strong gifts in the shop, while also fusing everything useless into powerful high tier gifts that help out your team. If you really try, you can pretty consistently get Lunar Memory with this build, while also keeping up in terms of fusion gifts, leading to you getting pretty much the strongest possible build for your team. But of course at the cost of a lot of your time. And that's about it for the graces, and Mirror of the Dreaming Heart as a whole. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video, this means a lot to me. But I want to finish this video off with a question. Are you enjoying the new Mirror dungeon? I would love to hear your opinions on this mode, and what you like and dislike about it. Also, if you disagree with my takes or suggestions, you can always leave a comment telling me about that, and I will be more than happy to enter discussion with you. If you found this video interesting at any point, consider leaving a like, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This was Ultranum, and I hope to see you next time, when I'll be talking about our newest Don Quixote. Goodbye!